We are a family of 5 who spend most of our summers sailing around in our 28-foot sailboat Helios. Join us as we journey through the rivers and the canals of Europe on our way to the Mediterranean Sea. So after our little incident with the motor here on our trip, I've decided to try to see if I can fix the problem. And I'm by no means an expert on this, but I've found a thread in the forum at yachting or cruising forums with some ideas that I'm going to try out. This is the old fuel pump from our engine, and as you can hear, it's not very really pumping that much. There's clearly something wrong with the mechanism in it. So I found this new one on the Danish version of eBay, and as you can clearly hear, there's a very big difference. So I'm going to try to install this one instead. Another issue I found out could be the mixing elbow from which goes out from the manifold on the engine, and as I understand it, the seawater comes in and cools down the exhaust before it gets spit out of the boat. And an issue could be that this gets clogged up, which is exactly what looks like could have happened with ours here. It's very dirty inside. So I'm going to try to see if I can clean it out with this homemade device I've made here. There's clearly a lot of nasty stuff coming out of this thing. So one of the things the forum post read was that if this is clogged up, it might result in the engine going at very low RPM, which is exactly what we experienced with ours. And hopefully it's this and not because we have a wrong propeller attached to our engine. Well, I have no idea if this is going to work, but this thing looks so much better now. There was a lot of dirt in here, and I got most of it out. I ended up using quite a lot of different tools, as you can see, to get the job done. So we'll just have to mount it and see if it makes a difference. So I'm back down on the boat, and I'm going to try to mount the new fuel pump and the mixing elbow that I got cleaned up yesterday. You can see the old engine down here. It's an old Yanmar 3 GND 20 horsepower, and it's unfortunately not very easy to get to all this. The fuel pump needs to be mounted down here below, and the mixing elbow is to be mounted here, and then I gotta put all the hoses back on also. Oh man, this is annoying. I'm 100% going to drop something down in the bilge. managed to put everything back together and the engine is starting fine. Also, before we had trouble getting above 2000 RPM, but check this out now. So I hope I've fixed the problem. We'll have to check once we go out sailing if we can get some more speed out of it. The next idea on the list with the motor is to try and pull out the fuel injectors and see if I can clean them a bit. I read somewhere online that if they're clogged up, then maybe not all the cylinders are firing, and that could cause the motor to run at lower RPM. So I'm going to try to check that out. I'm fairly certain it's these three guys right here. I'm by no means an expert, but that's what I have found online, so I'm going to try to see if I can pull these out and see if they are dirty. Look at all this nasty shit that came out when I removed the return hose to the fuel. That can't be good. So I managed to get the first one out, and there's definitely a lot of carbon buildup on here. The two other ones are pretty stuck, but I'm not gonna give up. When I get them out, I'm gonna bring them all home and give them a good cleaning and see if that helps. So I managed to get two of them out, but what's worse is this last one is extremely stuck, and the bolt is breaking when I'm trying to jam it up. So I'm afraid I'm gonna completely ruin it if I'm not careful. But just keep on trying, I guess. So I finally managed to get them all off, and they're all pretty dirty and carboned up. The last one was extremely well stuck, so I had to make a run up to my father-in-law to pick up this giant wrench, but that did the trick. So now I'm gonna take all this stuff back home and give it a good cleaning and put it back in, and hopefully it will work somehow. Holy crap, just when I was about to leave it started pouring down. So I put everything back together, so you just have to see if it starts. at least I haven't ruined anything. I've yet to know if it actually made a difference. I'll have to take it out sailing to see if we can get some more speed out of it now. So this is our normal cruising RPM of just around 1600, and as you can see we're only going about 4 knots. The engine is supposed to cruise at around 2400, but every time I try to crank it up there it starts shaking violently, it smells burn. But let's see what happens if I try it now, if it's been fixed. It's definitely improved some, but I still think it's a bit shaky. Usually it wouldn't do this, so something is definitely better now. But now it's starting to smell burn. Starting to smell burned again, so that's definitely still something wrong. Definitely running better. I can get it up to about 2000 RPM now, in just under 5 knots. But if I crank it up higher, the whole boat starts shaking and the engine starts smelling. We're on our way back in. I got it up even higher now, but it's still definitely best around 2000 RPM. It's not very happy to go above, but it's definitely an improvement. So the engine is definitely running a lot better now. The smell kind of went away when I had it running for a long time at high RPM. It's still not perfect, but it's definitely better than before, and at least we have an extra knot of speed, which will do us a lot of good when we're sailing around canals and rivers. Actually, when I got back into the harbor, the engine suddenly stopped, and I couldn't get it started again, only in neutral. As soon as I put it in gear, it stopped. But then I found out that the stop handle here had shaken up. Probably because the boat had shaken so much. So as soon as I pressed it down again, it started immediately. So there's definitely some improvement. We'll just have to see if it's enough.